subscribe to Simply Bitcoin.
Are you doing that to me, Katie, or to someone else?
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. You made it to another episode of the Meme Factory Podcast. This is test stream number 79. If any of you that watch or listen with any regularity, you'll know that we will only have test streams and stream tests. That way we can't be shut down because we didn't really do anything. It's not here. We're not real. It's fine. This evening, we are joined by Katie the Prussian.
Oh.
Katie, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
That was good. All right, so I'm going to assume most everybody knows who you are in the Bitcoin space, but I'll give you like 10 seconds to say anything you want to say about yourself.
I'm Katie the Russian. I'm a CEO of Plumbee Passport. At Plumbee's Passport, we help people to obtain a second passport in different jurisdictions for their benefit. As you can see, I'm an immigrant, and what else? I'm a mother.
Yeah, you fucked up. It's not bad. Not bad for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate you coming on tonight. We are almost to the part where we can talk about Bitcoin and other stuff, but before we do that, we got to get our ad copy out of the way. Suscorp has provided the ad copy for this week. It's a little bit different than normal, they said, but you'll find it in your inbox, and when you get a moment, go ahead and read that sucker off.
That's right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Katie. Tonight, it is with great sadness in my heart that I must inform you of Suscorp's decision to discontinue our Antsaway product line. Antsaway will forever be remembered as a brilliant and economical alternative to toilet paper. Now, if you can confirm that you were correctly sent one of our modified Argentinian colonies, it is highly likely that you can continue to use the product. Not to worry. You received bullet ant colonies. For rectal linking purposes, we offer our sincerest apologies.
This is highly unprofessional.
We need to get paid here.
People need to know why this is being recalled.
The bullet ants were part of a completely separate product line and were never intended to get anywhere near our valued customers and I. Again, if you or a loved one has been using Antsaway now without issue, it is likely you can continue to use the product as usual. However, and this is important, if after using our ants you notice 24 to 48 hours of the worst pain you've ever experienced centered around your anus, it is likely that you were sent one of the aforementioned bullet ant colonies. Going forward, Suscorp will be suspending all ant-related research and product development. We will be sticking to what we know and love in the future, using our unpaid interns to sort through barrels of cool-looking snakes to find the definitely non-venomous ones for shipping to curious school children around the globe. Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you, Katie.
finishing it.
Yeah.
That was some ventriloquism there. That was impressive.
Yeah. Very.
Labra, welcome in, bud.
Yeah, I got a call from our sponsor.
Which one?
I was sleeping.
Oh.
Today's sponsor. I was actually sleeping, and he kind of complained of something. I don't know.
Some pain.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I joined just to see what's going on.
It sounds like they've got a recall going on, but
Yeah. Might want to let him know.
yeah. Now that that's taken care of, I want to make sure we thank Coinbits, our actual sponsor. If none of you have a DCA or Roundup set up with Coinbits, check in the show notes, click on the Coinbits link, and go get yourself some Bitcoin. In the meantime, Becca, I'm going to move on to you, and we're going to talk about sandwiches.
Yeah, we're talking about sandwiches today. I made a very special menu for you. So, hold on. Let me get it ready. I got three. Okay, hear me? I got three specials. So our first one is the, oh no, anyways, It's a First Republic special, one of a kind. The bankers are going to steal your lunch money and rehypothecate your sandwich, and final delivery is not guaranteed. So it's kind of, you're kind of gambling on that one. And my second one is I am the meme. It's a trad wife meme. So please head to the kitchen and help me make some sandwiches. And our third one, we got Yellow's Don't Stop Believing steak sandwich. It's been marinated in Red Bull in 535 days. And he got a message for Michael Saylor. Like, what are you going to come join the Don't Stop Believing spaces? So these are your three options.
I love it. I'm definitely taking the second one, please.
Nice. The I am the meme.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Get to work.
Get to work.
I actually had a funny story. Just last weekend, I went to a wedding in Arizona, and just a random dude comes over and like, hey, like introducing himself to my husband, and then he's like, I know you. You're Katie, the Bitcoin Katie. And I'm like, well, okay, this is weird, but okay. He follows me on Twitter. And then apparently when I walked in, his wife said, look, this is the girl from the Trad Wife meme.
Love it.
Not bad. People just yell "fuck you" at me at Miami when I walk down the street.
Amazing.
So, Katie, I've been following you for years. You were part of the first group of Bitcoiners that I was introduced to, the Dirtbags.
That's right.
Yep. And so I watched you start a business and become a mother, and really, I watched you knock the business out of the park. I'm wondering how life's changed for you since becoming a mother.
Absolutely wonderful change has happened, of course. Like when we met each other, I was living in Mexico by myself in Airbnb, basically constantly flying some places on this planet. And now I'm a settled mother and a wife. And this is really what I wanted. Like with my head, I definitely knew that's what I was going for. Like I consciously wanted to make this change. I consciously wanted to find a husband, get married, and have kids. But you still never know how are you actually gonna act when you get in this position. And yeah, I was totally right. That's what I wanted.
Okay, cool. You cracked me up with a tweet the other day. You were it was something along the lines of, "When is it okay to stop breastfeeding? Is it when my kid is asking, walking up to you and asking for it?" What was that about?
So basically, my kid can ask for nursing breastfeeding session with his words in two languages. So I'm like, maybe it's time to stop breastfeeding. Maybe it's time. But yeah, my kid is now 15 months old, 16 almost. It's been absolutely incredible journey. I've been thinking how a lot of people say that parenting is full of sacrifices. And every time I hear that, something hurts in my body because I actually don't agree with this. I would say it differently. Parenting is full of prioritizing the thing that is currently important to you. So sacrificing would be, oh no, it hurts, but I have to do it. But prioritizing is like, I know this is more important at the moment, so I'm going to do that instead. So, I've been traveling a ton, going to every Bitcoin meetup I can find in the world. I literally went to like probably 15 cities, local meetups for Bitcoin. And now there's BTC++ happening in my city this weekend, and I'm like, sorry, I'm just gonna prioritize different things. I'm not gonna be able to make it. So yeah, a lot of priorities towards my family and my child, but it feels really good.
I didn't know you were traveling that much. Is that part of the passport business?
Well, back then, probably many things. First of all, yeah, I was traveling like right when COVID hit. It was still in China and not in the US. Apparently, I was traveling to the Caribbeans. That was like my big trip for business, where I just recorded a bunch of videos, traveled through all the islands where I sell passports. And I was actually the only masked person on the plane because back then it was like, no, it's fine, it's in China, nothing's happening. And me, who always doesn't trust the government, I was like, no, we all gonna die. They're downplaying it. So
Hmm.
I was like stupid and 95 person, but the only one on a plane. And then a month later, everybody was masked but me. So, and then I was just living between basically three cities. I was spending a lot of time in Miami, a lot of time in California, mostly San Francisco, and I was like home based in Guadalajara, Mexico. So I just constantly flew places. And then I also like snowboarding, so I would do trips to the Colorado mountains. Dirtbags were hanging out a lot, so it's like Friendsgiving, Plebsgiving parties and stuff. That was fun.
Cool.
So, Katie, I remember there's this meme going around. We're all gonna get girlfriends, right? And back in the day, I remember you had because I just found this meme I made like a while ago, and I'm not sure what it meant anymore. I just retweeted it, but I'm wondering, did you get your dashboard abs,
Oh yeah.
or did you settle for the dad bod?
No, total dashboard abs. Not doxing my husband, by the way. But no, the dashboard abs was about 6.15. You know, the 6.5515 will get you eternal riches and big titty bitches. And I was like, come on, what are the girls gonna get? And apparently it was a husband with dashboard abs,
Hmm.
ESL character, English is a second language, who always listens and does the dishes, but also um, mysterious. Like basically, I don't even remember by now. But yeah, got a husband of my dreams, that's for sure.
Good.
Congratulations. So the memes are true, you know, as long as we manifest them, they're gonna be true.
Yep, and you guys are being busy manufacturing memes, so that become true.
It's part of the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Katie, you've been talking a lot recently, and since you've had your kid, I forget. You say it's a boy or girl?
It's a boy, it's a
Your boy.
dude.
Since you had your son, it's a dude. Since you had your little dude,
Yeah.
you've been talking a lot
With
about
dashboard abs as
with
well.
dashboard apps. You've been talking a lot about homeschooling and unschooling, and I'm curious about what the difference between those two things might be.
Yeah. So when people refer to homeschooling, it's mostly following the public school curriculum on your own timeline. Like you still have to pass the exam once a year, make sure that you are staying in line with what your peers would be learning in school right now. Basically, you're following the same textbooks, but instead of hating a teacher, your child is hating you, the mother. Something along those lines. While unschooling is more of the following child's curiosity instead of a curriculum. There must still be some obviously direction on what we're going to be learning today and tomorrow. The children usually still lack discipline in some ways, but definitely do not lack curiosity. And as long as you can fire up their curiosity, they will learn at an amazing speed. Like, just seriously, just support child's curiosity and they will show you what they can learn. And honestly, unschooling is way more about teaching the child how to learn, how to educate themselves, rather than like learning by heart the information that is now publicly available on Google, but they just have to learn it from a textbook instead of learning the skill of finding the information. So that's what I'm into. I want to unschool kids. And even before meeting my husband, I've been like, I had so many projects in my head. I was like, when my first child is 5 and my second one is 3, we're gonna do this. And it's like, here I am, single girl in Guadalajara, talking constantly on Twitter, not meeting anybody. So, yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
I'm curious. Has the lesson plan since Guadalajara stayed the same, or has it changed?
So I shared the projects that I had in my head with my husband, and he's like, "This is cool. I'm down for it." So I think some of them will definitely become reality soon. And I also think that I will spend more time playing around with ideas and actually creating my own curriculums later in life. That's probably even again, before even meeting my husband, I knew that later in life I will have a project that is built around child education. Because it seemed super interesting to me because I didn't like the way I had to learn in school, and I really appreciated the way my parents got to educate me. I thought it was interesting. Then I worked with kids as a coach in both snowboarding and sailing, and I always absolutely loved it. Like it really does give me energy. So I think that's where I'll go at some point in the industry.
Do you feel like unschooling has synergy with like the Bitcoin mentality?
Absolutely, for sure.
In what way?
I mean, in order to become Bitcoiner, you had to be curious. You had to be um, capable of learning quite complex subject on your own time without like peers forcing you into that. So like Bitcoin is opt-in voluntarily thing, right? So you had to opt in without any external force to learn about what Bitcoin is and educate yourself on that. So I think a lot of people who are Bitcoiners definitely have the skills of finding the right information, going deep down the rabbit hole without stopping when they stumble upon a roadblock. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And without doxing your husband, is he a Bitcoiner?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I met him at Austin Bid Devs.
Okay. And did you have any shit coining to whip out of him, or was he a maximalist at that point?
He was a core
That's
contributor.
gross, Greg.
He was a core contributor.
Yeah, at the time.
Okay. Ben the Carman. There he is. Anyway.
Funny enough, Ben the Carman introduced us.
Oh,
Ooh,
good for Ben.
Greg has inside information.
Not
You know
really.
what was funny? 2 months before I met my husband, I'm in Guadalajara and Ben the Carman is visiting for Thanksgiving or something like this. And I always knew that my husband would be an engineer. That was like my first thing would be he's good at math. My second thing, he's an engineer. So I'm like, come on, Ben the Carman, you know so many programmers, find me a husband. And he was literally like going through the people he follows on Twitter to find me. And guess what? 2 months later, he actually did.
Did you send him the entire list of demands?
No. But I mean, he was a dirtbag. We hang out so much back then. He really kind of knew what I wanted. But okay, when he introduced my husband to me or me to my husband, it was a professional meeting. I was looking for a programmer.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
No.
it didn't work out professionally. I got to tell you that.
Well, you ruined my next question, which was going to be, do you have any advice for our resident sandwich maker on how to make a Bitcoin maximalist out of your man?
Yes, please help me. I've given up.
You know what? I'm working on a series of threads. For Twitter.
Threats?
Threads.
I have a lot of threats that I throw around from time to time.
Reds.
They're fantastic. They get
Every
the job
time
done.
you fucking brag, you're like,
Just say fuck you, Greg.
She said it plenty.
but basically what I wanted to put together is like, how did I end up at the point of view that I have now? Like on unschooling, why do I think that this is the best way? So like series of questions you can ask somebody in order to help them to end up in the position of being pro unschooling. Or a series of questions that will lead this person through their own thinking, not through you telling them that anarchy is the way, Bitcoin is the only thing. But like, what if this, and then you just with questions you lead them. So I'm gonna work on all this like radical opinions that I have and how I ended up in this position.
Good. I'll test out your questions and report back to you.
For sure.
Hopefully XRP gets dumped.
No. Wait a second. So you're indirectly holding XRP, Becca?
I plead the fifth.
Shitcoin indirect.
Wait, this isn't live, right?
No, it's not live. We'll edit it
No,
out.
we'll cut it out. We'll cut it out first.
Okay. Correct.
Correct.
No. Speaking of dumb shit, Katie, what's the worst job you've ever had?
Oh.
Or top 5 if there's that many.
Okay, the first year of my immigration to the United States, I worked every job I could possibly find. I worked 3 at a time, etc., etc. But my problem was I grew up very entrepreneurial. Like, my parents raised me to be an entrepreneur. There was absolutely no question if I'll ever be able to build a career in a traditional way, neither for me, neither for my parents. Like, entrepreneurship was the way in our family. So me just having a traditional job just hurt bad. Interestingly enough, the worst job was the one that was actually the most well paid, and I only was able to stay for 3 weeks. So what happened, it was like a big furniture store that was online store only, and they were mostly selling through Amazon and a couple other things like Wayfair or whatever. So I was supposed to be managing the Amazon store, and they had like thousands of units of furniture that needed to be uploaded, and created a page for each one of them. So there was a girl prior to me that spent 4 months and uploaded like 20% of all these things at best. And so I came for the first week, and they're like, so here's 100 more units for you. And they were like, it'll probably take you a month or so. So I found out that I can create a spreadsheet, get it all figured out in a spreadsheet, and then upload it massively into Amazon. So here's Thursday morning, the first week. I'm uploading the whole thing, and they're like, what? Yeah, they're like, well, we don't have anything for you to do. The rest is not ready, so go home, come on Monday. So I'm like, okay. And that's when I actually first got into Bitcoin, like legit got into that kind of shitcoin still. But I started traveling for conferences. So I'm like, oh, here's the conference. I'm Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm flying to New York. Next week I come in and I do the same fucking thing, but by Wednesday, well, we really ain't got anything for you, so come back on Monday.
Oh my god! But they were still paying you, right?
They're still paying me
Okay.
full time. Yeah. And I'm like, why am I
Sounds
even
awesome.
driving to this office? I can make it from my computer at home. So I'm like already pissed at the inefficiencies that I'm encountering in this corporate position. Okay, so week number 3, and I'm realizing I don't want to fucking drive 40 minutes to this office. What they expect me to do is extremely easy. Anybody can do that. And it's so boring that I'm already done. So by Wednesday, I'm like bringing my letter of resignation. And they're like, oh no. So I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm really starting my own thing. And I started a web development company at a time. Like for the next 2 months, the CEO who I've met once, he just heard stories about me uploading the magical document into Amazon, who'd never figured out before. He kept calling me and like, I'll give you a 40% raise right now. Come join us.
Wow.
I'm done. I'm gone. Nowhere back. So that was the worst job. Even so, I worked as in the bakery. I worked at like restaurants as waitressing throughout the whole night for 12 hours. That was way less annoying to me. And as you know, I worked as a coach a lot, which I really liked, which was not really paid much at all, but I loved it.
They don't pay you a lot until you get into the upper echelons. All right, since we do have Labber here this evening, I would love to take a moment and see what kind of scores he might provide for us at this point in time.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing that I'm also good at math. I can say the pi number.
Oh no.
But I'm not going to do that right now.
Not right now. Yeah, okay.
Not right now. Okay, so the scores so far. Let me see. Marcus, you got a vote for score.
Nice.
A big one.
Sailboat, right?
Yep. Greg, you got a coupon code for 21% on, valid for a Vega Sandwich restaurant. So, yeah.
All
You have to
right.
pay more.
All right.
Yep. Becca, for you, I have a free Excel course, and for Katie, I have a vodka.
Potatoes. Nice.
Astrovia.
You know that I'm the most fake Russian in the world because I've never tried vodka in my life.
Okay, no
Really?
problem.
You're
I'll give you a
drinking
pie
vodka
number.
right now.
No
Yes.
problem. I'll change the score. It will be a pi number, so it will be a
Oh, Jesus Christ.
3.1415926533896264338.
Sometimes I
doing
wonder if
that
he's reading it. I wonder if he's reading it sometimes or if he's getting it from memory, but I think this time he was reading it. So we had your partner in crime on a couple weeks ago. It was a great show. One of the questions I wanted to get to with her, which I totally blanked on, was that do you believe it's inevitable or that people will need to defy government orders to hold on to their keys? Like, do you think there's going to be a 6102 type executive order for Bitcoin? And what does that mean for people? If you do agree that that's the case, what does that mean for people who even have passports? Like, what do you plan for in that type of situation?
So it's a great question.
Thank you.
Is it so? Is it possible that 6102 on Bitcoin will happen? Yes. Are the governments stupid enough to do that? Very possible. Because that will basically mean shooting themselves in the knee in so many ways. First of all, they can't really enforce it, so they're gonna seem dumb like they always are to me, but they're gonna seem dumb for other people this time. Second, they're gonna drive away so much capital. And that's honestly, these days, I feel like the biggest competition between nation states should be for talent and capital. And that's what we see coming in from El Salvador a lot. Like, that's what they're trying to attract, capital and talent. So again, Bitcoiners are quite successful, disciplined, educated, intelligent. Who else is going to say it about us?
Right.
Not us, but that's how I see this community. And if you are trying to come after us, we will leave. Like, we have everything set in place in order to leave. We can cross borders with all the capital we have without telling anybody, without them ever knowing about it. So that's pretty awesome. Also, a lot of Bitcoiners are getting their private pilot license, getting their sailboat license, just so we can, do a censorship-resistant travel.
You need a sailboat license?
Well, you need to fucking know how to do the boat thingy.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't know you needed a license to use the boat.
Yes.
Yes,
I
open
don't know
water,
license,
international waters, navigating.
Yeah.
Quite handy.
I got you.
But I don't like licensing. I think licensing is stupid. It shouldn't exist in this world. But having the knowledge is definitely important. And I'm pretty sure that with Sailboat, you can get away without license quite easily because...
Can I dig into that a little bit? How about driver's licenses?
Fuck the driver license stupidity, absolute. Especially in the US, dude. That was crazy. So in Russia, you have to go to 6 months, to school for 6 months, take driving classes 3-4 times a week, and then pass the exam on manual, and then you can get a driver license. If you make one mistake, you can make 2 mistakes out of 100 questions, and for every mistake, you'll get 5 extra questions. So that's how hard is the exam in Russian. So I never got my driver license.
Should there be an age limit on driver's licenses? I mean, if we're going to take away licenses, I guess there's no age limit as well.
Yeah, no, my grandma is a good driver. My grandma-in-law, is it a thing?
I meant like on the younger side.
I mean, you got to be able to see over the dashboard.
Yeah, but that's linked. That's linked. That's
Go
not...
here and I would make a joke about her. I'll make it when she's here. Because, when she comes over to Austin, she drives one of our family cars, which is like not the most small people friendly car. It's like I can barely see it from the dashboard. I have to go put my
Right.
seat all the way off. And so here
Ima-
comes Jessica, and like she's slowly laying there between the dashboard and the wheel, in this hole.
commercial pilot licenses, no need.
Mm-mm. Capitalism needs to win over all this licensing thing.
Where are we going with this,
I mean,
Marcus?
okay, me hiring somebody.
It's me. I'm putting in a line of questioning to see
I know.
if it meets my.
No, that's great. That's great. Should there be the way for me to understand that the person I'm asking services from or buying services from is knowledgeable and skilled enough for
Okay.
this position? Yes. Should there be, how do you say this? How do you say when it's like the same formats? Standardized.
Yes.
Standard. Can you say it?
Standardized.
Standardized
Standardized.
standards.
Way to be able to understand if this person is skilled enough? Yes. Should there be a central authority that gives licenses to everybody like they know better? Fucking no. Who are the judges,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. I'd want to join, like, if you're driving on the road, right? Like, it's not okay. If you're being driven by somebody and you've like feted them and you're like, okay, I'm willing to get in a car with them, that's fine. But the other people driving on the road, which could be complete idiots, you didn't get to vet them, but you're sharing the road with them. So.
Yeah, how did the driver license solve it, huh? Thank God we don't have this situation right now because driver license really got those
Well,
idiots out of
You
the
know,
road.
you know what solves that problem is mandating insurance.
Oh, that's right.
Then you get rid of all the idiot drivers.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I see your point, though. I see your point.
So are you saying that Greg will not be allowed to drive in Russia?
Well, I'm Polish, so I don't want to go to Russia. They don't treat us nice. No, they do. Katie, you got something different to say? You guys like Polish people?
I like all people. I don't care about politics.
Fair
Nope.
enough. All right, so we talked about 6102 from a government on Bitcoin. And if you need to get out of the country, Katie's your solution. But Katie, have you seen other solutions, like novel solutions to the wrench attack or to the maid attack or the border guard attack?
What do you mean?
So the evil maid, she's cleaning the house, whacks you on the back of the head with a wrench, and takes your seed phrase. Or the border guard that tries to extort your Bitcoin as you're crossing the border. Have you seen, especially with the border guard stuff, because that touches on your business, have you seen any novel solutions to avoiding that? I mean, other than like wearing your ledger around your neck as a necklace.
Yeah, that was a great one. Great one. You could also put your seed phrase on your hand. That must be helpful. But no,
I think Sascorp has a solution for that, Greg.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
multi-sig really solves that, no? Like, okay, maybe you can provide me, like, I can give up the brain wallet that I have, that I currently remember, but I do not physically or in any other capacity have access to the second key or third key. That definitely solves the problem. Like, you can hit me as hard as you can. There's fucking nothing I can do.
Oof.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, and that kind of, the point of
Yeah.
hitting hard disappears.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Unless you're just angry, you know? Then they can't get the Bitcoin, now you're just getting hit.
Well, I can hit back.
There we go.
Speaking of which, what is you were taking what? Muay Thai? So when you say you can hit back, it really hurts, is what you're trying to tell me.
You want to check in Miami?
No. Not at all.
Do it. Do it.
Weren't there like wrestling matches set up for last couple conferences in Miami?
The Triple Elite memes guys have a meme running around with "Sign the waiver," and I don't know what the details are on this, but anybody that's got beef on Bitcoin Twitter is apparently allowed to come in and squash it in the ring.
All right.
That's
I
all I
know.
really know about it.
I know Joe Rogers and Cucumber, Bitch Shit Cucumber, were supposed to have a fight like 2 years ago, and I don't
Yes.
think it ever took place.
They didn't. They didn't. I offered to step in as an alternate for one of them, but they wouldn't. Nobody wanted to fight, and it was just all bluster.
All right. Well, yeah.
All right, so you've traveled the world more than most people I've ever met. Given your choice of anywhere you've been, where are you stopping for your best dinner? And who are you taking? Can't take your husband. Got to pick somebody interesting. Not that he's not interesting.
Jessica?
Okay, Jake and Jessica. Where are you taking Jessica?
Well, the only thing that came to mind, Jessica and I went to Europe in October, and we had absolutely amazing dinner in Paris. And I mean, that just came to my mind right now. But if I had other choices that didn't happen in my life yet, I mean, right now I would just love to take my mom and dad for dinner, probably somewhere in Geneva, Switzerland. That would be great. Just because I haven't seen my parents in 2 years, and that would be cool. Yeah, that's probably the answer.
What's in Geneva?
Oh, I just love the city a lot. I love Switzerland and I love Geneva because it's beautiful and small and just intimate, cute town. You can walk throughout the town in a matter of like 15 minutes, and there's mountains, there's lakes. It's really beautiful, and you feel like home there the first time you step into the city. So that's why.
Have your parents been there before?
Nope.
No. Okay, so what's the perfect day in Geneva, Switzerland? What are you taking the parents to do?
Yeah, we would walk. I mean, we would go to the yacht club, maybe take a boat out, and then we would walk by the shore to the fountain area, and I don't know, get something nice, something French for dinner. Maybe we would start with a bakery in the morning, good coffee and croissants, because it's a French side of Switzerland, so
Okay.
they got the goods, the gluten goods. Yeah, so something like this.
Okay. And what was that?
Yeah, man. I was contemplating of raising my hand, but then I'm gonna get like all these rusty reactions, so I'm not gonna do that. But going in on the 6102 attack, I'm really curious. Like, what countries do you see, implementing like a 6102? Do you expect that to happen in the United States, or is that like Eastern European stuff, or what other countries where most people are fleeing from, and where are they fleeing to? What are the least likely countries?
Canada.
Probably Canada is the safest place.
So that's right. So what I noticed is that the Western countries, specifically Five countries, probably with Germany on their side and few other jurisdictions, basically the governments that have their shit together the most in order of surveilling their own citizens and actually being able to track the taxes of their own citizens.
When you say Five Eyes, I'm not sure everybody understands which countries you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand. And basically, the Five Eye countries means that they joined some convention altogether, that they will be sharing all the information with each other on their own system. Mostly sharing it with the US, the America.
Right. I'm surprised Holland or the Netherlands isn't part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised kind of too. But they also got their shit together in terms of taxes. And you know how I see it? When clients come to me and they're the most educated on the taxes in their country, it means that their country really got their shit together in terms of taxing the individuals and tracking what's been paid, what hasn't been paid. They're the most afraid ones of the local IRS or whatever. So, yeah, that's how I get educated on my favorite thing in the world, taxation all over the world.
Right. So those countries are the most likely to provide you with new clients, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And where are they fleeing to? Are they all going to Guadalajara or?
I wish. But no, basically, many of my clients are still staying in the countries they're currently in just because they appreciate the lifestyle. It's a homeland, the family is there, the house, the home is there, the parents, etc. But they're looking for an exit strategy, an insurance policy, a Plan B passport, hence the name.
Right.
So yeah, and most of my clients are from Western countries. So a lot of English speaking clients. Definitely seeing a lot of people from Netherlands, but Netherlands actually do not allow dual citizenship on the same basis as Canada or US do. They do have a couple of exceptions, but citizenship by investment program doesn't fall under one of those laws. So they actually would need to give up their Netherlands, their Dutch citizenship, which is not something people are willing to do.
Right. I didn't even know that.
I'm curious if you see like intermittent streams from certain countries for people who are looking for Plan B passports. Like, do you see like out of any given time like a lot of people from the Netherlands or a lot of people from the UK? Like, does it come in fits and starts like that?
News. I can track what's going on in the geopolitics by the countries that I have calls scheduled from. You will see, like, mostly my clients are basically correlated to Bitcoin price, right? I talk to Bitcoiners all the time. I should post on Twitter. That's where my audience is hanging out. So when Bitcoin goes up, I'm getting busier. When we're in a bear market, I have time to have children, basically. Yeah, so
Building in the bear market. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, that's basically one big correlation. But then I also see spikes when election happens, right? So right now, for example, Turkey is about to have election next week. So we're seeing interest from there. Brazil going through a shit show. A lot of Brazilian clients. So yeah, you can definitely track geopolitics. Obviously, when the Eastern European conflict started, both Russian and Ukrainian clients were running away and trying to get their second passport. Russians got banned really quickly from the rest of the world, so they had to jump in the last, how do you call it, wagon? Whatever. While Ukrainians still have problems too, even so they're the victims of the situation, according to the rest of the world, which I don't want to go. No,
What do you mean? I'm joking.
Yeah.
We're all fucking victims of the governments. That's my opinion on that. It's absolutely sucks that people are dying. The war is terrible. Makes me want to cry a lot because I believe that Russia and Ukraine have the same history, the same cuisine, very similar language. We grew up as, brothers and sisters. I still work with a lot of Ukrainian people. I have a lot of Ukrainian contractors. I talked to 3 of them this morning, and we don't hate each other because we are normal people who don't listen to politics, who don't listen to the guy telling us that you're now supposed to hate these people because they're from a different country. Because they are behind invisible and imaginable line. Like, okay, sure, I'm gonna hate them. So that's my point. That's my opinion on that before I get canceled. But Ukrainians also can get a citizenship through some of the CBI programs because it's really hard to perform due diligence on them now. So those CBIs trying to be virtuous and banning all the Russians, while also are not capable to provide second passports for Ukrainians either. Makes absolutely no sense. So gotta do better.
Have you been finding new and interesting ways to service those clients?
I actually don't have Russian or Ukrainian clients much. I've seen a big wave of them, but they're all English speaking who already live outside of their country of origin mostly, because I don't produce any content in any other languages other than English. So all my clients are English speaking.
Okay. And show me a little bit about what you're doing with your business now. What are you excited about? You have anything coming
El
down the pipe?
Salvador.
El Salvador?
Pretty Salvador. If you guys haven't seen, I wrote an article on how El Salvador can launch a citizenship by investment program, which would be different from what we currently have, from what the market has to offer, because they have Bitcoin infrastructure, meaning that they will be able to accept donation and investments in Bitcoin, which is not the case in many countries. They will be able to see Bitcoin as source of funds and proof of funds, meaning that, they usually ask you to prove where the money came from for citizenship, making sure that you don't sell cocaine and stuff. Nothing against selling cocaine, that's their policy. And you provide them with like, hey, here's my Bitcoin savings, and they're like, we don't recognize those as money. You stupid. I don't recognize your dollar as money.
Right.
That's why your national currency is dying and all your citizens are on US dollar, which is also dying, by the way. So El Salvador would understand that. And again, politicians are politicians. That's something Bitcoiners need to always remember. But as long as our values, as long as our goals are aligned, our incentives are aligned, because El Salvador is basically in the same position in every single one of us. They don't have money printer. They don't have access to money printer. They're at the bottom of the money printer hierarchy, just like we all are. Their national currency died like 20 years ago. They're on US dollar standard without the access to the printer. So they are incentivized to find a cure for unlimited supply money and fiat system. So on this side, we are incentivized, and also they are doing the right steps at attracting talent, attracting capital. Just like I mentioned, they recently came out with a new bill saying that all corporate taxes will be waived for those working in tech, and they basically trying to bring tech and startups and invention down to El Salvador, which is pretty cool.
Good for them.
Yeah.
But
What about like Dubai and oh, sorry,
Go for it.
your article?
Yeah.
Where can people find that article? Do you have it pinned to your tweet or Twitter?
It's on my Twitter somewhere down the feed. President Nayib Bukele tweeted this article, and it's on Bitcoin Magazine. So he read the article, he tweeted the article with this emoji, like, interesting. So
Nice. Achievement unlocked.
yeah.
serious. Now, did he follow you? What's the question?
Yeah.
Are you
Does he
now
follow
followed
you?
by Nayib Bukele?
Not followed by him, no, not yet.
Slacking.
What about countries like Portugal and especially Dubai? It seems like it always seems like all these those influencer types and people who got a bunch of shit ton of Bitcoin and shit coins as well. They all seem to be going to Dubai or Portugal, in my perception. I don't know if that's true, but what makes those countries so attractive to them?
Taxes.
Taxes. Okay.
Now, that being said,
Portugal as well?
yeah, Portugal had zero capital gains on crypto, quote unquote. So Portugal is pretty cool in terms of its climate, the land, and everything. They've got surfing, they've got good weather, got mountains. So Portugal is like South California of Europe. So that's pretty attractive too. They've got good taxes on Bitcoin, let's say. And that's pretty cool too. But they are in EU. So I never really got excited about Portugal. I never tried to advertise it as much because I understood that they are under pressure of European Union. So every step out of the setup they currently have is going to be pressured back into the line. And if Portugal was something like Germany, a stronger participant of the EU, they would be able to take crazy steps like that. But they're not. They're much less rich of a country. They don't have as much power in the EU. So they got straightened back pretty quickly. And they already talk about bringing the tax back up. They're talking about shutting down their golden visa program. just like Cyprus did. The same happened with Cyprus a few years ago. They
What's
had a citizen
What's a
investment
golden
program.
visa program?
It's like investment into real estate, let's say, and on this basis you obtain a golden visa, which is actually just a permanent residency. And after 5 years of holding the residency, you will be able to apply for citizenship as long as you can pass a language exam. So, yeah, it's an interesting option. But again, I never got too excited about Portugal, despite all this pros, because they're part of the EU.
Yeah.
So for now, we are a little limited on that. UAE, on the other side, Dubai, as you mentioned, also pretty good taxes, basically zero income tax, which is super cool. And another cool thing, it's funny. Another cool thing about UAE is how far they are on the religion side
Isn't that
from
what
Western.
you use not to get pregnant?
What?
The UID. IUD.
IUD, actually. But I have no idea what it stands for. But Jessica and I were talking about it yesterday because we saw a crazy tweet about IUDs. It's pretty bad for you, I think.
Ooh, why?
UAE, right?
Right, UAE.
United Arab
We had a regular
Emirates.
question about Dubai. Right?
United Arab Emirates. Yeah.
Emirates. That's right. So, they're so far on a political and religious spectrum from the Western world that they will never give up their residence to the extradition wise. They will stand for you just because they don't want to agree with the countries you're probably coming from. So that's actually a really good separation. Again, when you're trying to find a Plan B passport, you usually try to find an enemy of your current jurisdiction. Because let's say you're Canadian, and you also have Australian passport. That's basically one flag. You don't really have a Plan B option. You're still under the same umbrella of Five Eyes. So if you're looking for a residency that could potentially become home if shit hits the fan, or you're being directly targeted by your local government or something like this, Dubai is a pretty good option. You will never really get citizenship there or passport, but residency that can do.
Kate, I hate to interrupt you, but we have a procedure here. If Rusty raises his hand, we got to give him the floor.
Hey, Rusty.
Hi, Rusty.
Hey,
Hey, Rusty.
good morning,
How are
everyone.
you, Rusty?
Hi, Rusty.
I'm
Rusty,
great, thanks, Labra.
unmute
Thanks for
yourself,
asking.
dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Katie, you just mentioned the word Australia. I was just wondering, how many people are coming to you each week asking for Australian passports? Like, are we talking like five? I don't know why you're laughing. 5, 10. What are we? Yeah, what kind of numbers?
Gentleman never asks.
Yeah, but there's no gentleman in Australia, so.
That's right. Yeah, Australians come in spikes. When COVID hit, they were
Sounds
all like,
horrible.
that's right. Yeah, when COVID hit, they were all pretty fucked and they were pretty unhappy with what was going on. Interestingly enough, the most amount of women clients that I've ever had, or not even clients, consultancy calls that I've ever had with were from Australia. So many women fled Australia and were like, I'm not going back there because of the medical decisions that are trying to make me do. That was interesting.
Specifically women? Why? Does it have something to do with pregnancies or?
I actually don't know. That's just what I noticed. I don't have that many clients that are females, but most of them that I've ever had calls with were from Australia. That's really interesting.
Rusty?
I think with Rusty has his hand.
Yeah, Rusty got his hand up.
Hi, Rusty.
Yeah. So
Hey, Rusty.
hey guys, hey again. Hey, Labra, hey again.
Whenever you're ready,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I think you.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
no.
Just ask your question.
I think you,
Hey,
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, I think you misunderstood my question, Katie. I was asking how many people came to you asking to go to Australia, not with for a pass, like they wanted an Australian passport, not how many people wanted to leave Australia. That was
I'm
my.
sorry. I've never
Yeah.
had an experience with that.
Not
Yeah,
once.
so, okay. Oh, okay, all right.
However,
Yeah,
New
no,
Zealand was
Why
like
do you-
very popular at a time, right?
Do you have one to sell?
Yeah, what are they going for? Like, is that how it works?
You want to trade?
Can't sell
Yeah,
them for
trading.
Bitcoin.
But it's
Trading
okay,
passports.
everything goes in cycles. Like people usually ask me if you were planning 40 years ahead, what would you be looking at? And that would be hard to predict, but basically look at the countries that are the most fucked now, fucked. The most fucked countries at the moment. They will probably be the coolest one in 20 years.
Rusty, do you have another question, or did you just get lazy?
Hey, Rusty. Hey.
Yeah, hey,
Hi,
sorry, no,
Rusty.
but I
Hey,
wasn't going
Rusty.
to, but that sounded good. So follow-up question: does that mean that Australia is going to be a cool place in like you say 20 years? Is that what you said?
Make Australia cool again.
There we go. There's the
I'll do my
campaign,
best.
Rusty.
Yeah. I'll make a shirt.
All right, so Katie, while we've got you here and you've got us here, do you have any questions for the meme factory?
I should have prepared. Should have prepared.
Oh,
That's a polite way of saying no, Greg.
yeah.
Who of y'all want to be Miami?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Come over to booth 842.
Wait, hold up. Is Labra going to Miami?
He just said yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I do on Nostra. I just replied yes to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
breaking news.
Great.
So it's booze 69. What was?
Yeah, you'll be able to catch us all at the Meme Factory booth. Show
Yes.
bags,
Mhm.
Meme Factory show bags.
That's
Excellent.
great.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we'll all be there.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
Other than
come over. That's the first time Plan B Passport has a legit booth at the conference. So I'm wondering if I'm just gonna miss out on all the fun
Yep.
and not meet anybody I actually know.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just call everybody and say, "Come over to booth 842. Let's hang out."
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, you just need somebody to man the booth for you.
there you
Woman
go.
the
Yeah, woman the booth.
Woman the
We're
booth.
gonna have three people to woman the booth.
There you go. Now, Rusty, you can't come in late without being punished, so why don't you go ahead and check out RD's notes and see if you've got his question there for the evening.
And see if you can make his accents right this time.
Yeah, because you've been rough with that accent. Do better.
Hello. Katie, having a good day, are we? Right, Katie.
Craig.
We were wondering. Let me check my notes. I was wondering, if the meme factory did exist, and we all know it doesn't. Which one of us would you mute? Which one of us would you retweet? And which one of us would you? Shit, what was the first one I said? Which one of us would you like? Which one of us would you retweet? Which one of us would you mute? That's what my question is. From me notes.
You forgot
No.
Zap.
Now you know why he needs notes.
Yeah.
And also, which one of us would you zap?
Can somebody translate? I don't get any of this.
All right, so on
part.
Twitter there are responses to tweets. You can like, retweet, mute.
Oh, like retweet. I'm like, what is he saying? Can someone translate to American English?
He did the RD's accent right this time.
He did it great.
Yes. Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah,
Thanks.
good job.
Thanks, Labra. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, like retweet and zap.
And mute.
Like
And
retweet,
mute.
mute, and Zap.
Yeah. And how many times you mute Greg? Yep.
All right, Lumber, I'm sorry you're gonna be muted.
Oh,
There's
God
an
damn it.
explanation for it. I have a dog. And I never wanted actually a dog, but I got a husband and it was a package.
Hmm.
And I have a love-hate relationship with my dog, but sometimes he wakes me up barking, so I would mute just for that sake.
smart.
Yeah, I have actually a group, and I chat with other dogs, and we just coordinate those barks at 2 a.m. and we just bark at windows for no reason.
I know. I wish I could mute my dog sometimes. So that's the only reason. I think I would retweet back at the most, but because I actually did retweet back at the most, I think.
Nice.
Yay. Girl power.
You got a like and a zap left.
Yeah. All right. I mean, not many of you left. Okay.
Well, you don't have to pick anybody who's here. You got plenty of people in the meme factory.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I will zap you because you got a cool background. How about that?
Nice. All right. Thank you.
Marcus, you
That
got
is that is a cool background, Greg. Whoever came up with that design must be super cool.
Well, who came up with the design, or
Likeable.
who actually implemented it?
Yeah.
Who
Well,
like
it's too
who
late now,
designed
Rusty.
it?
She already gave me the
Whoever,
like.
whoever
So just
designed
go
it
ahead
must
and
be
mute
super
yourself.
likable.
I know what's interesting. You must have green background behind you because it's like it looks so perfectly natural, like you don't have those, highlights.
No.
And it looks legit.
This is Zoom software. There's no green screen.
Wow, pretty good.
It's not bad. Yeah. So who you throwing the like at? You throwing it at Marcus, Rusty?
Marcus will get a like.
Huh?
Cute.
You already gave it to me.
I already gave it to Marcus. Oh, perfect. All right.
Ooh. Well, let me advertise my perfect background. Obviously, it's Bitco art, but that's not what I want to talk about. So one time, Jessica and I decided that we need a perfectly black wall on our background because that's on brand, black background and pink chairs. So we decided to color the wall ourselves, but we're not that tall. So check this out.
Oh no.
We never actually could reach the ceiling. That's what we've got.
Oh, we need to send a step stool over to you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Marcus. Since your co-host isn't here this evening, you're gonna have the next bit of duty here with Block 840,000.
Right. Are you aware, Katie, what is happening at block height 840,000?
Would it be next happening?
The Havening, exactly. And do you know what's happening at the Havening?
Having
In El Salvador. Halfin.
Party.
At the next Halfin.
So basically, we're organizing a big halving and happening party at the same time in El Salvador, early April. Everybody's going to be there. Even the guy who liked or responded to your article, he's going to be there. And you're invited. So we're going to have a blast there. It's not a conference. It's a party. It's a big hangout for like 3 days with all your favorite Bitcoiners. And we're going to celebrate that we're going into the fourth halving or the fifth epoch.
All right. Oh, dude.
bring your husband, bring your boy, bring your dog.
That's what I'm figuring out. How am I like scheduling my pregnancy so I can go attend the halvening party?
Yeah.
Having.
So you can be in your third trimester to fly, I believe. So yeah. Plan around that.
Yep.
Excellent. So you're going to be there as well. Now, take this time, Katie, please shill everybody who's still watching where they can find you, where they can find your stuff.
Yep. Katie the Russian on Twitter, planbpassport.com. You can also email me at katie@planbpassport, not plural, singular.com. You can find me on Instagram, but forget about that. The Bitcoin stuff is on Twitter. So let's keep it there. Yeah, that's basically it. That's the best way to find us.
All right. Katie, really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Everybody else, thanks for coming in.
Wait. I think I have just sorted out Katie's pregnancy plan right now with the having. Check this out. So you calculate those 9 months of pregnancy so you can have your baby in El Salvador during the having party, and then you have your kid with the passport, and then you can get a passport.
Oh yeah.
There
That's
you go.
the birth tourism right there. That's the anchor baby.
Perfect.
I'm a smart dog.
You
Thank
are
you.
smart dog. Have a good night, everybody.